Good morning, Knicks fans. It's your boy. And you are now tuned into another episode of OU and Knicks podcast. I hope everybody is doing well. Well, I just stopped by really to just, react to what happened with the whole Kemba Walker situation. And I just wanted to let you guys know that today I am a happy man. Yes, I am a happy man today. And I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why I'm a happy man today. One of the main reasons why I'm a happy man today is because from the interview that Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier did, it was clear that we could see that they truly wanted to be a Knick. You could see that they truly were happy to be there. You could see that they truly bought into the Tom Thibodeau system. You could see that they bought into what Leon Rose and William Wesley was telling them when where all the news was first breaking and the conversations that had to be had were had. So that's one of the reactions and something that I'm very happy to say because you get a whole lot of situations, and I'm not even going to front. At first, when they had asked Kemba Walker the question, he was like, "Man, I ain't know what happened. I just got traded." He was referring to the Celtics. He wasn't referring to the Knicks because in the case of the Knicks, it wasn't a trade; it was a buyout. But at first, my mind didn't catch it well, and I had to sit up there and think like, hold on, what you mean you ain't know what happened with the Knicks? But in all actuality, he did know what happened with the Knicks. He did know what was going on, and he was, happy that the Knicks did pick him up. And I'm happy that he did choose the Knicks. So I mean, that's definitely one of the things that I'm truly happy about in this situation. Another thing that I noticed in the situation that I was happy about was that Tom Thibodeau and these guys already share a connection. You see something that Kemba Walker said towards the end of the interview where he said that he's already known Tom Thibodeau from working with Clifford, his coach, when he was with the Charlotte Hornets. So he said Tom Thibodeau paid them visits, and him and his coach were good friends. So that lets me know right then and there that Tom Thibodeau was already playing a major role in not only our players but players around the league. They knew who he was. If you knew from a few seasons ago, we heard about Tom Thibodeau. We heard that he was traveling from team to team, from coach to coach to coach. Every coach that he knew, he was continuously talking to them, and getting their input on certain things, of the matter about how things should be played around the league, basically adjusting his game to what the league is at this point of time. So Tom Thibodeau already done gained the masses of players, so he's already built relationship with players that we don't even know of to this day. That only seals the deal to let me know that the reason why that Leon Rose and company chose Tom Thibodeau was not just because of the greatness of his coaching, but because of the connections that Tom Thibodeau have. You have certain players out here who don't like Tom Thibodeau, but you also have certain players out here who love Tom Thibodeau. So, Knick fans, I just want you guys to know that, in overall judgment of the interview that happened today with Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, it looked like these guys truly bought into the system that not only Tom Thibodeau was presenting to them, but Leon Rose and the things that, the Knicks could be in the coming future. Because if you notice, a lot of people been sleeping on the knee on the Knicks. And Kemba Walker said it, earlier in the interview about his knee, about him not feeling any, pain to his on his knee, but up until the playoffs. So that lets me know that the majority of the season, Kemba Walker was mainly healthy. that just let me know that it was only a bump and bruise that got Kemba Walker out of the playoffs. Sure, I'm pretty sure it was wear and tear, but it lets me know right there that the injury that everybody's sitting up there talking about when it comes to Kemba Walker, it may not be that detrimental to him. Maybe we're overreading into it too much to where we think that it's more than what it really is. Because as far as what and I can only take his word for it, but as far as what I seen from Kemba Walker, he wasn't talking like it was like hurting him or it was something that ruined his career or whatnot. What I heard from Kemba Walker is what I got hurt in the playoffs and now I'm ready to get back to work. So that was another good sign. One thing that I hope happens during this offseason leading into training camp is that the Knicks will, be able to link up with each other as far as it being the, starting five and some of the guys that was in Vegas and, basically our team. I hope that at this point now that they're in New York, that our players that's outside of New York will come back to New York because one thing that you notice with teams once you start building that camaraderie off the court, it translates on the court. So, in order for them, I believe, in my heart, for them to be more successful next season, the Knicks will have to band together and understand that this is a brotherhood. So I hope that right now, since Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier are in New York, I hope that Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and I'm pretty sure Quickly and Obi and all those guys, the young guys, are coming back to New York. But I'm talking about our main people, being Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, Derrick Rose, Alex Berg, our main guys that we was living and dying by last season. I hope that they take the initiative within themselves to come back to New York to be able to build with these guys, not only follow, in training camp, but in this off season too. You have to get to know the person likes and dislikes, so you could be able to I don't want to say it in a serve it too well, but serve them well when you're on the court. Because if you're able to know their game, if you're able to build that camaraderie with your teammate to where y'all A alike, B alike, y'all think alike, then it's so if we seen it so many times with successful teams where they just know where the other players are. We seen Julius Randle reference that so much last year that the team made it easy for him because he knew where the team was at. So getting to know your teammates, getting to know your coaches, getting into, a willing practice, a willing shootout. Once you get into these things and build that camaraderie with your team, you have no choice but to be successful. And that's what made the Knicks so special last season. They bought into each other's strengths, they bought into each other's weakness, they became a brotherhood, they looked out for each other if you was going against one, you was going against all. We seen this countless of times with the New York Knicks last season. So that's something that I'm hoping that the other Knicks, the being Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, I hope that right now I understand that they have business going on. But if you just in the gym working on your game, trying to get better for yourself, come back to New York and build with your teammates so you could be able to have that camaraderie come preseason. You get what I'm saying? Another thing that I wanted to talk about. I love the Evan Fournier signing. It was such an underrated signing, and I believe that he could be such a beneficial to the Knicks. Now, I don't know if I trust him at the small forward spot. I would rather see RJ Barrett, even though RJ Barrett is not that strong at playing the three spot. But I'd rather see RJ Barrett because he's bigger in stature than Evan Fournier. So I would rather see RJ Barrett slot in at the small forward spot instead of Evan Fournier because I believe that the Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, we seen it last season with, the little bit of little things that we saw with him and Evan Fournier. Those guys work too too good together as the one and the two. So I'm hoping that Tom Thibodeau has that in his mind to be able to slot RJ Barrett in at the three instead of slotting Evan Fournier as a three, because I believe that RJ Barrett has the potential to become a better defensive player than Evan Fournier. Even though RJ Barrett is not a good defender now, he's terrible. I don't care what none of y'all say. RJ Barrett is a terrible defender. He's slow to recovery when for corner shooting. He's not strong enough. We've seen Deontay Hunter eat him alive in the playoffs with back downs and post ups in the paint. That's just not RJ Barrett forte. He's got to get a lot stronger. But I do believe that RJ Barrett has the potential to be a lockdown defender if he gains some mass, and not only that, put his mind to playing defense, be more aware, be more assertive on the defensive end. We've seen RJ Barrett lose stride and lose his man on the defensive end. And that's not something that Tom Thibodeau is going to keep putting up with. I'm pretty sure that Tom Thibodeau noticed that, because if you notice a lot, they'll take RJ Barrett out and leave him on the bench. Why? I don't believe it was because of offense, because RJ's one of those type of players where he can have an off quarter and then go off for the rest of the game. We've seen him do it plenty of times. So I don't believe in necessarily that it was his offense that kept him out of the game a lot of nights. I believe it was his defense, because RJ Barrett, you see, it seemed like every time we played the team, whoever RJ Barrett was guarded, they had a good night. So that's not something that I'm pretty sure Tibbs is going to want to go through with. So I believe RJ Barrett can grow to be a very, 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 very good player. As far as summer league goes, I love what I saw from um, Deuce McBride. I love what I seen from Quentin Grimes in the later half of the summer league, because I believe that he came in with those rookie jitters in the summer league, and he wasn't his form wasn't well when he was taking the shot. I felt like he was rushing his shot. I felt like they gave him a play. I feel like the coaches gave him a play to go by. If you could see it, it was the double screen. It was the one screen he had come around the screen, pass it, and come around the other screen. Excuse me. Matter of fact, I'm getting that confused with the quickly. But Grimes will come around the first screen, and if he was open for a shot, he'd take it. I believe that he was rushing his shot a little bit too much, which is never good when you're playing against competition. You cannot rush your shot. The game is 80% mental, 20% physical, in my opinion, when it comes to basketball. You have to be able to react on time. You have to be able to make quick decisions, to be able to make the best play available for not only yourself but for your teammates. That all comes into playing basketball. So I believe that those those attributes will have to be built on Grimes, but not built on McBride as much, because I believe that McBride has the mental enough to be able to be a floor general. He showed that in the summer league that he is a floor general. He totally impressed me. If I had to grade Deuce McBride, I would have to give him a A plus. And here's something for thought. And you guys know that I love Emmanuel quickly. But in my opinion, I think that Deuce McBride had a more successful summer league than Emmanuel quickly did. I felt with his defense, his lockdown defense, his shot, his ability to see the floor and pass in space. Sure, he got a couple of turnovers one game. I believe he had like 3 or 4 turnovers. I believe one game he went like 2 for 12 from the field, but his overall ability to control the floor, and even though he's not tall in stature, he's big in mass. He's a strong kid, so he could hold his own. I put him in the mind of Eric Bledsoe with his size. You get what I'm saying? People have been, referring to him as uh who was people referring to Deuce McBride as? I forgot who they was referring to him as. But me, I look at him as like a Kyle Lowry. Deuce McBride reminds me of a Kyle Lowry, not only with his shot, but with his ability to get charges, to be able to defend. I would say that he's more of a better defender than what Kyle Lowry was when he first stepped into the league. But Kyle Lowry was a sacrificer. If you've been following Kyle Lowry through his career, he is a sacrificer and he does play D. He's not one of the top. He's not going to make all defensive team, but he's going to give you. You're not going to have to take him out because he's a defensive liability. Quickly, on the other hand, Quickly is a defensive liability. No matter who want to say what, Quickly he's not strong enough, but his offense is, I believe, is a notch up above McBride's. But I believe that with McBride's defense in his offense, I believe he levels it off to where he has the more potential to be the more impactful player on a team. Not necessarily saying that it'd be the Knicks, but I'm saying a team. Now, Quickly, he's more of a scorer that CJ McCollum, Lou Williams type of scorer. So I'm pretty sure that he will always have a role in the NBA. But as far as like the ability to be a bona fide star in this league, it just pours out of McBride. It pours out of Quickly too, but I definitely see it in McBride, especially with his defense. So those are some of the thoughts that I had about the summer league. I truly enjoyed it. I hate that believe we went 4-2. I hate that we lost some other two games. I felt that, especially the Detroit game, I felt that that was a game that we could have won. If you notice in the Detroit game, it was just going back and forth, back and forth. And Cade had his run, but I truly in my heart believe that the Knicks could have definitely for sure won that game because they came out, they weren't shooting well, they weren't spacing the floor well, they weren't running the plays as efficiently as we saw them run the plays in the other games. But I truly believe in my heart that especially that Detroit game, I believe that the Knicks could have won. And I do like what I see from, the new players. And I hope that they are on their way back to New York if they are not in New York already. I hope that they are building, with the current Knick players as far as Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and, Kemba Walker and getting to know these guys because you're going to have to build that chemistry before you start this season. And that's pretty much all that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. What else could we talk about, guys? Let me think. Mm, Let me think. Predictions. And trust and believe, we're gonna have Miss Lee on a future episode because we will be dropping some episodes for you guys. So when we do that, I'm gonna have Miss Lee up on here, and we're gonna give our predictions. But I guess since you guys are here right now, I guess I'll give you a prediction right now as far as what I think that a successful Knicks season is gonna be for next year. I think more or less. I think that with the current additions to the team, especially if McBride and Grimes, pan out to be the players that we hope that they could be, I think that the Knicks are capable of winning at least 50 games next season. Now I know probably a few of you who are watching and are gonna watch are gonna say, "Dude, what is you talking about?" But I really do think that the Knicks are being underrated right now. We're not gonna sit up here and act like Kemba Walker wasn't a beast. We're not gonna act like Evan Fournier and Vukovic wasn't dominating in the East, even though it was the East is a weaker conference. But we're not gonna act like they was slouches when you played against the Orlando Magic. So we're not gonna sit up here and act like Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker are some scrubs that's coming into the Knicks because they're not. These both are 20-point per game scorers. They are able to drop 20 on you every night. Couple that with RJ Barrett and you couple that with Julius Randle. Why can't we have the same expectations as, say, the Milwaukee Bucks or the Miami Heat or let's say the Atlanta Hawks because they beat us last season? Why can't the Knicks have that same mentality to feel like we're going to be able to get the job done just like those guys? This is what I'm saying to you guys. I feel like the Knicks are being overrated, and you could couple that with the hate that the Knicks get from the media, anyways. Let's not act like the Knicks don't get hate from masses of the media throughout the NBA. We are the most hated team in the NBA. So I expect for the media to underrate us and say that we're not going to be nothing. But me, truly in my heart, I truly believe that the Knicks are going to be something next season. We have too much offensive power. We have the same camaraderie teammates, the same teammates that we lived and died by last season. We have them coming back. Sure, you could say that we overachieved last season, but we're not going to say we overachieved to where we wouldn't have been in the playoffs because we were going to the playoffs. We were that good last season to where we were able to make it to the playoffs. And I don't think that that was by luck. Sure, we lost in the first round, but you have to crawl before you walk. Tom Thibodeau got us to the playoffs. Julius Randle got us to the playoffs. RJ Barrett, Derrick Rose, Alex Burke, Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, our team got us, and we brought the majority of them back. So who's to say that we are not going to have the same success? Yes, I'm sure. I know you're probably going to say yes. Some other teams got better, but so did the Knicks. You don't think that Evan Fournier is an upgrade to Reggie Bullock's? You will say that a Reggie Bullock defense is awesome, but I seen Reggie Bullock get cooked by Evan Fournier when we played them. So how can you sit up there and say that Evan Fournier is not an upgrade to Reggie Bullock when we saw Evan Fournier cook Bullock? Now on defense, I would not say that he's the one guy above Bullock. No, but at least he gives effort on D. And Tom Thibodeau's system is not just based on one player on defense, it's based on an entire team on defense. So, how can you relate that to Bullock, who I've seen get cooked plenty of times by plenty of players? We've seen Trey Young cook Bullock. I've seen countless of, they say that he was guarding the best players every night. They was cooking him. I'm not saying I'm the only person I could see that say that Bullock that is a star in the league that Bullock actually locked down was Luka Doncic. He was the only player that I seen that he actually locked that Bullock actually locked up. So I'm kind of tired of people with this. Oh, we lost Reggie Bullock. Man, get out of here. I would have traded Reggie Bullock in a heartbeat last season. I would have traded Reggie Bullock for Evan Fournier last season. That's how much of a better player I think Evan Fournier is to him. And I'm pretty sure that I don't have to say whether or not Kemba Walker is an upgrade to Elfrid Payton. I'm pretty sure I don't even have to say that to you guys. I'm pretty sure that you guys already know the answer to that because you feel the same way. Elfrid Payton was a laughing stock when we watched him. We seen him countless of times go into the paint and get his ball right to the stands. Countless of times we seen this dude go up for a layup and miss the entire rim. How many times we seen him throw air balls, shoot up air balls when he shot the 3-point shot? So we're not even going to compare him to Kemba Walker in no shape or form. And in my heart, I believe that Kemba Walker is a better player than Derrick Rose. I believe that he is a better passer than Derrick Rose. I'm not going to say that he can break down the defense as better as Derrick Rose, but I do in my heart believe that he's a better passer than Derrick Rose. I believe that he could. Kemba Walker might come in and average about 7 assists. Don't be surprised if Kemba Walker come in next season averaging 7 assists. We seen that in his interview. What did he say that his main goal was to do? It was to break down the defense and pass to a guy that's open. Because why? That's what Kemba Walker does. When Derrick Rose goes to the paint, he's looking more to score. He's more of a score first guard, even though Kemba is a score first guard too. But I believe that Kemba Walker is more capable of being a better passer than Derrick Rose. So another thing with people saying that we are not going to be anything next season. Think about it, man. We got Kemba Walker and we retained Derrick Rose. You got two high high intensity point guards on your starting unit and your bench. Not to mention we got quickly. Not to mention this kid Deuce McBride is looking like a steal of the draft. So I think the Knicks are capable of winning over 50 games. And you know I'm the over under academy, so you know I got to go over. I believe that the Knicks are capable of winning over 50 games. I believe that the Knicks are capable of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals if they put their mind to it. If they could gel well enough. You get what I'm saying? Well, I'm not going to hold you guys anymore. I see that we do have some viewers in here, and I want to thank you guys. Make sure if you're new to the channel, make sure that you like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Maybe if not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be dropping another live video. I don't know. I'll probably do a morning video for you guys so you guys can watch. But I do want to give, I just want to thank you guys for, believing in me. Everybody who follow me on Twitter, everybody who rock with me on Twitter, everybody who believe in the content that I put out for you guys. All of you guys who agree with me when we be arguing on Twitter, I appreciate all you guys. And if you just now coming into the video, make sure that you run it back and make sure that you like and subscribe, hit that notification button, and link with your boy all the time. Until then, we will continue to lead by example.